Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It's Friday, October 27th. Am I saying that right? Yes, I am, the 27th. So I thought today we would kind of go over some of the different ways to get new customers and to increase business if you're seeing a slowdown. And also the kind of the direction that I'm trying to get this channel to go because it's like I say about having a business. You could have the best of everything, but if nobody sees you, what good is it, right? Well, I'm trying to find out what interests everybody on the channel. I mean, some of you just like listening to different points of business that relates to how you could do things in real life that if you're not running a business. Some like the nitty gritty on what to do and how to do it, while others are just starting out and they're looking for a combination of the business side and the repair side too as well. So haven't quite figured that out yet. I mean, so far, I'm not complaining at all. I always, when I started this channel, I felt if I could help one person, then I did my job. And hopefully that's taking place. All right, so hang tight. All right, welcome to the channel. So today, it's going into November 1st. And we're still doing lawnmower services. Like I told you, that one way to avoid the masses in the spring and then a lull in the fall so that your money is coming in more throughout the year is to train your customers to half come in the fall for their spring tune-up and then half come in the spring for their spring tune-up. And those guys that you have that you're training to bring in their machine in the fall, a lot of times those guys will bring their snowblower in too and have you pick it up. So it doesn't hurt to mention to your customers when they call to have you do a spring service in the fall. Do you need your snowblower service? Well, we're right there. I won't charge you extra, and we do pick up and drop off. See, that's the other way that you can increase business, and if you aren't already doing that, but it's very hard if you're a one-man band. And what do I mean by a one-man band? I mean, if you're the only person in the shop and you're wearing all the hats, it takes time and gas to go get these units. And a lot of times, I'm at break even or just above break even when I figure out the dollar and cents on did I make money when I went and I got that piece of equipment, brought it back, got it repaired, and took it back. And some would say, why are you doing it if you're just hardly breaking even, or making a little bit on it? It's because it gives me that much more work in my shop from people that have no other way to get it to you. The only other option would be to go to their place and work on it. And as we've discussed, with a friend of mine that has a boat business that was out doing that he found that he was losing a lot of customers had he just had somebody stay at the shop. So one way you could increase sales is add on a pickup and drop off service if you don't already have it. I'm telling you, it's a win-win. And my tendencies to do is I have for the lawn and garden side, I have the 7 by 12s single axle, and then I have the 7.5 by 20 tandem axle pull behind that I use here for the shop. I've also got a fifth wheel that we use, but that's for the tractors to bring in. Gooseneck trailer, rather, flatbed. But that's also going to be an added expense, because if you don't have a trailer, then you're going to have to buy a trailer. And then you're going to have to buy something that can pull that trailer. And then you're going to have to maintain both that vehicle and that trailer. What I have a tendency of doing, so that it makes it profitable, is if I'm going to this village or hamlet, I'll say Monday, and then I'm going to go over to this hamlet Tuesday, and then I'm going to go over to this hamlet Wednesday. So what I do is I get all the customers from that locale, let them know I'm going to be out there Monday to pick up machines, and have them out where we can see them, get them all loaded up, bag and tag them right there. What do I mean by bag and tag them? I mean rotary cells, and you can make your own as far as that goes, but these here are heavy canvas tags, cardboard, and you write the name of the person and the address on it, and then I attach it to either the steering wheel or some place down low where it doesn't get ripped off. And why do I do that? You'd be surprised at how many steels look alike. Weed eaters. If you come back with 5, FS80s, and they all look alike, how are you going to tell the difference of whose is who? You don't want to give the customer this other customer's machine, do you? I don't. I want to give the customer back the machine that they had me pick up. So that's what I mean by bag and tag. I mean, get the tag system on it, magic marker, it doesn't wash off, and just simply put a name and put it onto the unit. But better yet, let me show you. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. They come with wire attached to them, and you want to do it across the board, whether it's you doing pickups or a customer drops off a machine. And you can have all their information on the front. I don't know if you can see it. And then on the back, comments. And then also, this here tears off, and you give that to the customer. And that's got a corresponding number to this tag. And when they come in to pick up the unit, they can either give you this tag, and you can easily go grab it. But here, I know all our customers, so I don't need to have you give me a tag. I just need to know that you're here to pick up your machine, but I can find it quick by looking for your name on the tag. And that's what I mean by bag and tagging. If you're not doing that, and you're looking to do any kind of volume, I mean, we do enough so that we tag everything that comes through. Chainsaws, weed eaters, what have you. All right, so that's one way of making it profitable, is going to each separate hamlet and doing the pickup. As you get closer to the city, you have more zoning and more issues per se. But if the customer doesn't want to leave it in the front yard because there may be zoning issues of the yard has to be pratique and this and that, but can give you the combination a lot of times to the garage door, then that's the way to do it. But for a customer to do that, they got to trust you big time, because they're letting you into their house. It's their garage, but that's their castle, where I think it's a little easier for us out here. All right, so that's one way you can increase stuff coming into the shop, is simply by doing the pickup and drop-off service. And how much do you charge? Well, gas is up there, maintenance is up there, on the truck, fuel, oil changes. Then you got a guy that's driving around picking it up that you got to pay, right? Whether it's a lot of times I'll run and do it just so that it doesn't tie up anybody except me. But if you opt to pay somebody, you could get somebody that's semi-retired or retired that's looking for just a few extra bucks and wants to feel useful and would love to drive around and pick up stuff and bring it back to your shop and work 2, maybe 3 hours a day. I'm telling you that you're seeing a lot of older people come back into the workforce, even if it's a part-time thing, because their Social Security is, with inflation and everything else, it's just not cutting it. So they need a little extra on the back end, which could be from simply doing 3 to 4 hours a day with you. So that's one option. I would never recommend that you shut your shop down and go do all your pickups and come back, open your shop back up. And why do I say that? I mean, if you're in the beginning stages of where nobody knows about you or knows where you're at or so forth, and you don't do any retail stuff, yeah, go get the lawnmowers and bring them back. But if you've already started a name for yourself as far as being a repair shop, good chances are if that customer calls you and it would be a new customer to you, calls you to see about grabbing their lawnmower and doing a service on it, and they call like once, twice during that week, and both times that they called, you were out running the roads doing pickups, good chances are that person's just going to call the other shop next door or in the town over, because you're not answering your telephone. So you can go with that, as far as increasing. If you're not doing retail, why not do a little bit of retail? Stock the stuff that your customers could use, like trimmer line. In the summer, people need trimmer line. And a lot of times, what we do here, we don't even charge to put the trimmer line on. I get it by the huge rolls. Quicker to show you again. This roll is for the walk behinds. I have other rolls that are just like that girl, that are strictly for doing the different sizes right down through. And I get the landscapers bulk pack, and then I charge so much for the string, and then I do the install for free, because it doesn't take me just 2 minutes here to throw in some trimmer line. And a lot of people say, well, do you have more that you sell? Well, then I have the small packs that I carry that will do like 2 or 3 different trimmer line times, where you can cut it and put it in and show the customer how to do it, and they'll buy that. Snap packs, I guess they call them. That's an option. It's coming up with different things that you maybe never had the time to do before, but now you're thinking about, well, I want to increase my business. Advertising. I keep coming back to that. I had a customer here this past year that didn't even know we were here, and they're less than 1.5 miles away, 2 miles away, so, and I say that's on me because it is on me. That tells me that I don't do a lot of advertising. I do mostly word of mouth, and that person just didn't run in the circles that the people that we were doing work for, so they never knew about us. And now they think we're fabulous, and they're One of our best advertisers, they ask for business cards. A lot of my customers will say, you have extra business cards that I can hand out? That's the best kind of advertising, because they're going to give you a good word while they're handing your card out. They're not doing that just out of the goodness of their heart. They're doing that because you've earned their trust and you've treated them in a fair way, from price to customer, price to the repairs to what have you. Another way to do that would be, you can order a bunch of postcards, all right? Frank, Vistaprint would probably be the cheapest, or you can do it locally. You must have a printing business somewhere in town. We've got a couple of them that will print out your flyers, your cards, postcards, and have on it, are you doing a fall service? Because we're doing fall services now. If you need blah, 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 need a service, here's the phone number, the address, blah, 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 and then on the back, with a thank you for... And a lot of people will hold on to that. Now, I can give you an example. Not that this is for a bottle redemption company and close to us, and it's just a simple, B&B, and then if you flip it over, veterans 10% off if you bring this card with you. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It can just be, here we are. We'd love to have you as a customer. This is what we're doing. And if you need more information, give us a call and bring this in for your first time service on your lawnmower or snowblower for a 10% savings. Right? That's a way to increase business. Sometimes you got to think outside the box too, folks. It's not always, it's a lot of times it's right in front of you, but you don't see it, kind of thing. And I know that you guys have probably got ways too, bringing in customers, and put that in the comments so everybody kind of gives everybody a leg up. And probably I'm going to learn something too that I haven't tried. Like I said, for me, I tried radio, TV, and newspaper, and flopped on all three. And the salespeople for all three said, "Oh, you have to keep doing it." And when you're sucking up $1,500 to $2,000 a month on a budget to get word out, and you're not getting any returns on it, we just stopped. And that's when I say, sometimes when you do stuff and it's not working, the best thing you can do is stop. Don't continue doing it hoping for different results. Stop. There's other ways of doing it. We talked about a Facebook business page and keeping that current and updated. Or, if you have the time and savviness of having your own website for your business, whether it be static with just contact information on it, and maybe a list of service specials that you do in the fall and in the spring. It doesn't have to be, expertly done. I mean, it does have to be eye-appealing, the right font, and so forth. But it doesn't have to be flashy. People don't want all the bells and whistles when they go to visit your website. Well, most people that are searching you out are searching Google looking for a small engine repair shop in your area, okay? At that point, they're looking for a location and contact information. And Google will give them your phone number, because you should also be setting up with Google Maps and stuff, and Google account to do your business and everything, so that when somebody does type it in, the name of your business comes up, your phone number, it'll have hours it gives you the option of the admin to go in there and put in, Monday through Friday from 8 to 4, Saturdays 8 to noon, so closed Sundays. You have however you want it set up. And that customer is going to see that information. And they're going to have an address and they're going to have a phone number to contact you. But there's also a link to your website or your Facebook business page. And that's where you can share even more information, because if they have the time, they can quickly search it and see, what are you billing per hour? A lot of people do look at what your hourly rate is. And just so you know, a person that's making $18 to $20 an hour looks at your hourly rate, may wonder, why are you worth so much more than they are? And that's because you're billing customers per hour. And if you've only got an hour's worth of work in that shop for that day, that's all your income. If you're an employee, you're getting at least 8 hours a day, if not 10. And then you get overtime if you're working 4 tens and then working the fifth 10 to get an extra 10 hours overtime. Shop owners don't have that ability. We can't make time and a half, and we can't get paid for work that's not here. So, and we're also, it's kind of like that feast or famine type thing. When you're in business, you hope for a feast, but there are famines sometimes, and we as business owners have to deal with that. And that's part of the reason that the costs are higher. We have insurances, we have employees, we have umpteen things that the money's going out. But as long as you can explain it to your customer of why you're billing that much. But if we go back to the 80-20 rule, 20% of the customers are going to give you 80% of the revenue. They're not going to ask you or even question what you're billing an hour. All they want is this fixed or their problem with a solution for it. That's it. Voila. And one thing I forgot to mention with the postcards that we were just talking about is, I think I mentioned it yesterday or the day before, is that you can go to your local post office with stacks of these, okay? And you can have them send it to every box holder, rural route, whatever, within that zip code for, I think it's right around 13 cents, 15 cents a piece, which is cheapity cheap compared to radio, TV, and print ads. And this way, if the customer gets it in the mail and they want to throw it away, fine. Can't be they want your service. But most customers will be like I am. I got this the other day and I set it aside on my desk because we do take our bottles back to a bottle redemption center further away. I didn't realize these guys were this close. So I'm going to start taking our bottles and cans and dropping it off with these folks. And seeing how they do business. They're a startup. They have this B&B Liquors. I'm not going for the liquor, folks, even though most business owners drink. But just to see who they are. So, that's one cheapest way that I know of to increase business. And it's for pennies on the dollar, Vistaprint. You pay them to have the postcards made up. You take it to your rural route, and the postmaster puts it into every box if you have, boxes at the post office, and gives it out to the carriers to put in everybody's box within that zip code. You can do more than one zip code if you want. There's 4 zip codes that we concentrate on that we're just trying this out. So I will let you know how this is working out. Since I saw that, I went ahead and I ordered some of the postcards. Just simple design, simple on Vistaprint. And I'll let you know how it rolls out. If we can increase the customers by maybe 10, 12 customers, new customers, is well worth the money, right? All right, so I'm going to start wrapping this up here because it's getting into almost a half hour. I try to keep it 20, 24 minutes, 25 minutes. Keep the comments coming. If what we're doing here is something that's helping you, we'd appreciate the like and subscribe. You don't have to. And we'd also love to have you share it with your friends. That's one way that we can find more people that are struggling in our business of repairs and stuff and help them. And the bigger the group is, you're going to find a lot more input from in the comments of different ways to go about it that you may have never thought, and suggestions on doing things that you may have, it's outside the box, right? So the bigger we get, the better we're going to be, I think. I'm very appreciative for the group that are still with us and stuff, and I'm trying to make sure that the content is relevant to what your needs are and how to increase your business, especially with a repair shop. You know, it's feast or famine again. You have feast in the spring, and then if you train your customers, you have a good meal in the spring and a good meal in the fall. But for most of us, it kind of lags through the winter months, because if your customer is taking care of their snowblower, you don't get a lot of breakdowns. And don't be afraid to carry a few extra things in your shop to make a few extra bucks. And I'll give you an example. It's like bar oil. A lot of times I'll catch like Tractor Supply with bar oil on sale, and it's cheaper than I can get it through my suppliers, and then not have to pay shipping. And I'll go down and I'll buy 8 of them, and I'll put 8 of them on the shelf, and I'll mark them up by $1.50 because it's convenience. They can get the bar oil here versus spending $5 extra in gas to run all the way to town to get it. So there's a few things that you can add to your shop that doesn't take up a lot of space. And don't be afraid to take on new lines. You know, if you're not doing chainsaws, you might want to think about chainsaws. Farm tractors, that's one of our niches that we found that, you know, works for us. If you have an older mechanic, or you're an older mechanic and you love working on the farm tractors, don't rule that out for winter income. Because a lot of times we do, whether it be complete engine overhaul, rebuilds, to clutch replacements, you know, we do the major stuff during the winter months. And we do that for a reason, because it doesn't interfere with our spring and fall service and our summertime breakdowns. And it gives a residual income throughout the year, so that when things fall off the small engine stuff, what do you have backing it up that's going to carry you through till spring, when you start seeing the lawnmowers again? So on that note, you guys have a great Friday, and we'll see you here Monday. All right, thanks so much for watching.